These are the tales and ramblings of two men, their dream of running a successful food truck business and life. We invite you along to join Josh and Skippy on this journey. This is Monday Morning Food Truck.
Good morning, Skippy. How you doing?
Good.
You got your instrument ready? You warming up the pipes?
Oh, no, that was the new horse we got in the background.
So this will be our first episode 10. First of all, look at that, double digits. And this, I think, will be our first video uploaded. So,
Oh, really? I should have combed my hair.
That's okay. There's not much there.
Really? Okay. All right, Captain Picard. Settle down, bud.
So the video portion will be unedited. It'll be so there's the warning. Let's keep the racial slurs to a minimum this time, Skippy. Anything in self-incriminating. Yeah.
Friends like you, who needs enemies, right?
I don't know. Not me. So yeah, we'll hop right in shortly. We have our first guest today, a fellow entrepreneur, and hopefully a sponsor at some point. That'd be nice. Rich Parker with the barbecuesuperstore.com. They bought the business a while ago, and all his awesome triumphs and tribulations and how they've managed to get through COVID with supply chain issues and dealing with people like us, hounding them for product, which they are almost caught up on, I think. So, but anyways,
I heard through the grapevine you were a pretty big hounder. Just saying.
I don't know why I'm getting a bad rap.
Something about sauce.
Hey, when we use their sauce and all of a sudden there's no sauce, I don't like to switch.
I don't blame you.
You know, I like consistency and I don't like to.
You don't like to mess with something that's already worked. I get it.
This is where I'm going to get myself into trouble.
Why?
So they ran out of a bunch of stuff a couple weeks ago. They were waiting on stuff to get shipped and get moved into inventory. So I couldn't get Executioner in the 5-pound bags. I think you had the same problem, maybe.
I don't use it.
Okay. So I switched to Pork Perfection 999, another one of their lines.
Yeah.
It's, in my opinion, it doesn't hold a candle. I don't like it. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the difference in the flavor.
It's different.
It's fine. I didn't get the same color that I wanted, and I'm missing the word. The grind on the rub.
Yeah,
the particle size is way different.
Yes,
it sticks differently to the meat. I just had all kinds of issues. It's fine, and it's fine. No one had a problem. It's not like anybody came and complained and said, "Hey, what's going on with your stuff?" I mean, for most people, they're not going to really notice a huge difference. I do because I taste it every freaking day. But yeah, it's just not for me. So even that minute change from an outstanding rub to another outstanding rub threw me off for the 2 weeks that we had to change. So whatever. Anyway, Skippy, how was your week?
Well, I had some Executioner I could have sent you. Anyway, my week was busy. Very, 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 very busy.
Good, glad to hear it.
It was probably like one of our best weeks ever. There was, we had a food truck rally that we signed up for in Ann Arbor that was at a farmer's market right downtown with like every other road closed. So taking a 24-foot barbecue trailer through the wonderful booming metropolis of Ann Arbor was quite butt puckering.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be sold out in 2 hours. It's great. With 10 other trucks there. So it's even better. Makes me feel good. We're invited back to the last one, so that makes me feel even better. We did have a subdivision that we went to in August. It was fantastic. We sold out rather early. Because I'll tell you what, when I pulled up at 4:30, I did not see one person, and like by 5:30, everybody was there. So, and I ran the truck myself, so I was beat that day. So we went back today. We went back.
You got to
Thursday.
stop doing that, bud. You're going to kill yourself.
Yeah, well, went back Thursday, and it wasn't as busy, but we still did somewhat fair.
So you did the same subdivision twice in a week?
No, twice so far. I did it in last month, and we had a little car show. Didn't do too bad. Just did okay. It was the last one of the year. It was kind of chilly out. It's right downtown our city where all the other restaurants are that people could go in and have heat. The band was great. Big L and Code Blue, in case you ever want to look them up. Pretty awesome. And then the 24th Saturday was our monthly farmers market, or not farmers market, but apple orchard called Meckley's Flavor Fruit Farms. Shout out to them. There was 3 trucks there. We sold out in 3 hours. And I cooked more than I ever have for that event, and cooked more product. We had wings, we had ribs, we had pork and brisket, and our new dessert special is going real well. Strawberry shortcake. It's awesome. So easy to make.
Simple. Even better, it's simple.
Oh, so yeah, because Sam's has these 9-ounce clear, like rocks cups, kind of, and it fits in there, and it looks perfect because everybody can see it, and you can see the layer.
Are you pre-making them?
No.
So you're making them to order? No.
Yep.
I imagine it would get soggy if you pre.
Actually, the cornbread holds up real well. I mean, real well. I mean, I put a little extra juice in it, and it still holds up real well.
So would you consider pre-making, just like doing like 10 at a time so you can get them out a little bit quicker, or are you not selling that many of them that it's not a huge deal?
We average about 20 a service.
Okay.
So 3, 4, 5 hours, not bad. It's enough where we can make it pretty quick. My helper is pretty good at doing that. She's not an employee yet. She has a day job. And then we were supposed to go downtown to like a little art in the park thing, but we didn't have any product. So I went home and went to sleep.
Let's say a nice phone call to make, but a shitty phone call to make.
Well, I as I was driving home, one of the local restaurant owners that I know down there gave me a call and said, "Are you coming down here?" I'm like, "Well, I wish I would, but I'm kind of sold out." They're like, "It's okay, don't." I'm like, "Oh."
You had enough food. You're good.
I guess there was a mac and cheese contest there, and there was like 4 entries, and it was quite sketch, as they say.
Gotcha.
So anyways, otherwise, and we had an invoice paid for a big catering gig this week. So I think this is turning out to be our best month ever so far.
Good job. Nice. Catering's awesome.
We'll see how it goes.
Is this another one where I'm going to get asked 1,000 questions before you start cooking for it?
No, what I like about this though is it's for 300 people. It's at a local factory or within 20 miles from here. Mm-hmm. But we are doing 3 different shifts.
Oh, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
That's I think the breaks in between. So it's 11:30 to 1:30, 6:30, 7:30, and then 1 to 2 a.m. And I think the breaks in between are going to be good for me. That way I make sure that everything is good.
Take a nap.
Take a nap. Because then I have something right afterwards, this on Friday. But it'll be a light week. We only have those 3 things today. And then I'm helping a buddy of mine he's catering a wedding. So he's in it. So you can't really cater it if you're in it.
It's a little more challenging that way.
So I'm helping him out, being the transporter and the setupper. And yeah. So it's going to be a fun week.
Awesome, buddy. Good job. Nice week. I'm glad it's shaping up to be a good month for you. As it's looking right now for us, it's been a little bit of a roller coaster of a month. We've had some spots that have been historically a little bit lighter that have been super busy, and our usual home runs have been a little bit lighter. So it's a bit of a flip flop. We are going to be hard pressed to beat our last September. I think we can do it, but this week's gonna have to be pretty damn busy. But last week was good. We finally got into a brewery that we've been trying to get into for 2 years. Got waitlisted. So they start doing their schedule for the following year in October. Of the previous year. So yeah, they're going to start scheduling for 23 next month.
I'm trying to get the camera situated a little better.
No, you're good. So yeah, by the time I reached out to them last year in November, December, they were already booked for the whole year.
Wow.
So they had reached out to us twice earlier this year, asking if we were available, and we just couldn't make it. Finally got in this last Tuesday because they've had a flaky truck that's not been showing up.
How do you do that? I'm sorry, like the rant, but how do you? There's been so many things on the Facebook groups about food trucks not showing up. Like that baffles my mind.
So there's that side, and then I've seen the equal number of other posts that have said they said we were going to be the only truck.
Yes,
5 there when we got there.
Yeah.
So I which came first, I don't know, but I can see how both sides are now apprehensive. They're going to overbook, assuming that someone's not showing up.
Yeah.
And then on the food truck side, they're like, well, I have a wedding that I can cater for guaranteed money, or I can go to this other thing where who knows if I'm actually the only truck. So I can kind of see it on both sides. I wouldn't do it, and I try really hard not to do it unless I've double booked something.
But at least have the balls to call the person and say, hey, like I can't be there because of this, or this. Don't just not show up. That's just so
right.
That's beyond wrong.
And we have some of our Friday Wiseman location. I told them at the beginning of the year, I said, we're going to be here every Friday unless something else happens or comes up, and we'll take that. So they knew ahead of time that we would have some fluctuations in the Fridays that we were there to potentially, and they were fine with that. But yeah, I mean, to just not show up is kind of a dick move. That's a big dick move. But anyway, so yeah, we got in there on Tuesday. That was by far our busiest bar night we've had anywhere. And that place they have an event every night of the week. So they run food trucks 6 nights a week, and They have something going on every night. Between trivia, they have a cigar night. They have a magic show that week, or magician comedian act, live music. There's always something going on in the evenings. So yeah, it's a great spot, and I've heard it's a great spot, which is why we've been trying to get in there. And then I reached out to them the next day to say, thanks for having us. Hopefully you've heard a good thing. They said all we've heard is good things, and we'll be contacting you in October to get you on some dates for next year. So hopefully we can take over. I'd love to take over just Tuesday nights there. It would be awesome.
Is that the cigar night?
No, it's their trivia night, which is their biggest draw. So, and that place was packed and still had room for another 30 to 50 people, I think. But yeah, it was a good night for us there. Yeah, I mean, and then we just our regular locations, a little bit slower on some of those. Friday was a really slow lunch for us, which is usually a hot lunch for us. And then when the football games started for high school, we got busier. It was a busier dinner for us there than normal, and a really, really slow lunch for there. But we had a wedding on, what's that?
You went to one of our friends' subdivisions this week, didn't you? Or that last week?
Yeah, the Gricos. That's third time we've been there. She forgot we were coming.
No, not like she doesn't have a lot of things going on, but
I know she does, and she forgot until she saw the truck out. She's like, "What's Josh doing here?" Oh yeah,
great. It's another thing to pick on her about.
Yeah, well, so it wasn't. She does have a lot going on, and I did not send her a reminder. They were leaving for like Ohio the next day or something like that.
Yeah, they were.
So I mean, it wasn't a great turnout. That subdivision is usually a pretty good turnout regardless. So it was okay. But yeah, we had a wedding on Saturday, and this was the first wedding that I was kind of nervous about in a while. And it was because it was a small menu.
Oh,
So normally we have 3 meats and there's like 4 to 6 sides. This one was 2 meats and 3 sides, being mac and cheese, cornbread, and salad, green salad. So I'm like, well, shit, I don't know. It throws my numbers off. Like I get in my own head about how much I need to cook because there's less options. So there's going to be more of each on a plate. So I figured we had about enough food for 250 when we showed up on a wedding for 175. Yeah. I just wasn't sure. And we went through, we didn't have a ton left over. Mac and cheese pretty much all went. Green salad we put it first. So we were hoping people would fill up a half a plate with green salad. So there's less room on the plate afterwards. These are tricks, did Bert?
no, I know. Yeah.
Green salad always goes first. And almost everybody had salad on their plate. And mac and cheese was the last thing on the line. Because that's something normally that we have seen, especially this year, where we have a plate full of mac and cheese, and then they'll put a scoop, they'll make their own loaded mac.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is awesome. And I'm flattered, but I didn't bring enough mac and cheese for 200 loaded mac and cheeses.
Yeah.
There's enough for 200 scoops of mac and cheese. So
doing buffet weddings and seeing the older people that are in their 60s coming out of the retirement homes of some sort, looking like they never in their life with plates full of food. And what hurts is then you see them just throw half of it away. They just don't. They're talking about stomachs are bigger than their minds.
Their eyes are bigger than the stomachs. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
what's scary is, Bert, is we're out in the country here. These are farm boys.
Exactly. Yeah. Farm boys, farm grandparents.
Some barbecue mediums out there, and there's some big appetites. So
yeah.
But otherwise, I mean, it was a good week. Nothing spectacular. It was a good week. I mean, we're plugging along. 5 weeks left for us. Huh?
I said it's always good to plug.
Yep. We ordered gift cards. We've been asked about gift cards the last couple of years. So ordered through Square, which is not them. It's a third party that prints the cards. Yeah, where's my camera? So then have not tried to load one of these yet because I just got them yesterday. But yeah, we'll start selling them tomorrow once we figure out how to actually put currency on them.
It's all fake.
What's that?
So it's all fake money anyway.
Yeah. Well, they cost about $2.50 a piece to print.
Really?
I also did express or rush shipping on them and everything, just to make sure I had them with enough time in the end of our season.
So you're in a second mortgage already. Okay.
Yeah. So I only ordered, I think there's 75 there. So it's not like it's a huge amount, but though, and the little envelopes for them. So I'm about $2.50 a piece. Now the research and the statistics that I saw was on average, people that use gift cards spend 15% more than the gift card amount typically.
So
they'll come a $25 order is close to $28, or a $25 gift card amounts to about $28 in sales.
Is there a fee to load it?
If we want to set one.
Square
doesn't charge. But
really?
Square's not charged. So I think there's the transaction fee count still. No, that's not true. I read about it. There's no fee. So it acts just like cash as far as Square is concerned when it hits. So when they use the gift card, it acts as a cash transaction. So no transaction fees or anything like that. Yeah. If that answered your question, I'm sure it did. Because I'm still confused. On average, people are going to spend about 15% more than what the gift card is for. So in theory, the card should pay for themselves, and hopefully we get some new customers out of it. Because hopefully those are given to people that, at least some people that haven't been to the truck before, or came before, and for whatever reason, haven't been back. So, and our food is 1,000 times better than it was 3 years ago.
Would you do this as like would you do it as a good way to do a giveaway?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I want to do, and I think I'm going to do that starting with today's episode. So I think I'm going to do like a 5 code word thing. So anybody that can bring me the 5 code words by the end of the season, along with liking us on Facebook, will be entered into a drawing for some swag from us. So from Sweet Rex.
I don't have sweat.
Cross promote both. Hey, it looks like we might have Richard Parker joining us. Good timing. Richard, you're muted.
Am I?
No, you're good. I can't. Oh, there's your beautiful face. Look, you did comb your hair today.
I did.
Richard.
Should I choose a virtual background?
As long as you don't actually end up a Speedo on the beach, we're okay.
Oh man, that would be bad. Should I be barbecue superstore?
Perfect. Oh, look at that. Good.
Skippy,
What's going on, buddy?
what's up, dude?
I'm going to fill my water real quick, Rich, and Skippy, I'll be right back. Oh.
I seen you're selling your Deep South, Skip.
I am. It's
What are you buying? This is where Skippy. I know Skippy all too well.
I don't think I'm buying anything. I think
Oh,
Outlaws actually treat me pretty well.
good.
Doing well. Cook on it pretty much every day.
That's a lot of outlaw time.
It's a lot of outlaw time. Maybe I'll finally learn how to run it.
I mean, how I run mine is, I look at it every 20 minutes with the fire. So
See, I've been trying to figure out the best way to do it, and 20 minutes is probably 20 minutes to a half hour is probably about where I am. If I go longer than that, I lose the coal bed too fast. And I think that's where I run into trouble.
me and Jay have had this discussion because he likes to, so I like to run my coal bed farther in the back, as you know, and like
Okay.
I take those little 8-inch splits and I put them back in there. So Jay likes to run his coal bed on the side, say the left side.
Okay.
So it makes it long ways. So then he can put the whole full 16-inch split on that coal bed to the left.
I gotcha.
And then,
I didn't think the fire basket was big enough for that.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
It's, I would say it's big enough. I mean, you
I've
can
tried.
measure it, but
Because that one guy that I told you about the delivered wood, he cut them 16-inch, basically is the size of the split. And if I
okay.
put it in there, I can't fit it inside the basket. I'd have to, like, one end would have to be on top of something.
Really?
Yeah.
It won't fit inside the basket at 16-inch?
No, it's
Really?
it's
Even on an angle?
it'll hit the lip.
Okay. Well, I mean, you should measure it. I bet it's like 12, 14 then.
It's probably pretty close. Yeah, I mean, he asked me if I wanted a patio basket instead of the bigger basket. I'm like, why would I want that?
Is that longer?
No, it's not. That's why I was wondering. Oh, because I asked about an ash pan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, no, just put a full pan underneath. I'm like, all right.
I don't even like doing that.
What do you do? Just scrape it out at the end of the day?
Yeah, because I mean, that's hot.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't need aluminum under a hot fire like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's doing, but I don't want to experience it. I can take, like when that fire's out, you can take like what is the thing on the end of the dust broom to pick it up? Just put that in there and grab the ash out and dump it in a pan. I mean,
Yeah. No, that'll work. I mean, I've tried. I've learned not to use Kingsford anymore.
Yeah.
That stuff's so bad. So
That's
much
a lot of ash.
Oh God, it was so much ash.
But I don't I mean, I don't know if I told you the story. I told you the story. I don't know if Josh ever heard the story about me almost burning my barn down.
Yeah, I heard that story.
I might have, but
I put a hole in a couple garbage bags before, but that's about it so far.
Yeah, and Josh, like my pit was, I mean, I cooked a double, and that pit wasn't fired up for over 4 weeks when I took it out of the trailer, but it was inside an enclosed trailer, all sealed up, and that sucker caught and almost burned down my barn. It's a story for another day.
yeah, we've been there. I almost lit my trailer on fire this year, and yeah.
Yeah, it's no fun.
Actually, my jackass of a neighbor actually came over and asked. He's a retired firefighter and now volunteer, and asked if he needed to call a truck. It was that bad. So
In the new subdivision?
yeah, well, technically I'm outside of the subdivision, but his
Oh,
his
welcome
condo
to the-
property backs up to mine, and now we're having a property line dispute.
oh, those are easy. Get a survey.
Well, I know where the property line is. Apparently,
Oh.
there is a landscape easement in between the two that I wasn't made aware of.
Oh,
That
interesting.
goes 15 feet off of my property line on one side and 25 feet on the other.
Into his.
It's all my property, but the easement's all on my side. So I cut down a couple trees, and he called the subdivision, the homeowners association, and said, "Yeah, you can't do that. You need to replace them because it's on their easement." So they own both pieces of property, and then
Yeah.
built in this easement to create a buffer in between the properties.
Oh, because you're not in the subdivision, so they need a buffer to
Yeah.
get the
So there was one line in the papers we signed at closing that was never mentioned, and the site map that we got doesn't have it listed on there.
plant an acorn. Tell them it'll take a couple years, but we'll get there.
So I can plant anything I want. So I'm getting 15-foot hedges going all along straight down the property line. And he doesn't have to worry about the fucking easement. So anyways, that's my life. All right. We're gonna get back on track. Skippy and I just kind of went over our weeks, Rich, but
All right.
the whole reason I was curious to have you, and I was thinking possibly Mark too, but like I kind of told you earlier, I said I don't have 3 hours to do this show today. And it's hard to get Mark to stop once he gets going. But anyways, yeah, just you guys bought and then turned it into the barbecuesuperstore.com. It was before.
Yeah, you want the little history on it?
I want it all, buddy.
All right. So back in early of 2012, Mike Terry and Steve Coddington, Bubba, they decided that they were kind of over it. The Great Lakes Barbecue Supply Company. And I didn't want to really do it. Mark didn't really want to do it. We were on our way to one of the Great Lakes board meetings, and it was in Mount Pleasant. We decided to ride together. We were talking about it. We're like, man, this is kind of stupid, but we should do it. And so I'm like, I'll do the IT part. He can do the shipping part. And so I contacted Mike Terry, and we worked it out where we purchased the Great Lakes Barbecue Supply Company and all their inventory. At the time, like they just handed us over their website. So in July, when we took it over, Mike came over in his little red Chevy pickup truck, and that's how much inventory it was. It was not even a full bed of this pickup truck. And he came to my house and he dropped it off, and then, I got it to Mark, and we were basically in Mark's house. That he had this little room in the basement that he had like 3 shelves, and we put it all in there. And that was going to be like his office, where he was going to work out of. And we ran their site for a while, and we just had a lot of issues with their site. So I started building another site during that time, starting in like August. And then, because I'm starting to see memories for it, because in Facebook, because in October of 2012, we started the Facebook page, the Barbecue Superstore. And then, because I was saying, it's coming. And then I think we launched it October 12th. It was right after we got back from cooking the Royal. Mark and I went and cooked the Royal together in 2012. And then I think like we had banners and stuff. And then I think we opened it like to the public right after. Because I think, Josh, you were like the official first order. Number one was Josh.
Yeah, because we were at the lake house, I think.
Huh?
You or Mark rented a lake house. And
I did.
Yeah, so we all were all out there, and that's when you guys told us that you bought it.
Yeah.
And I think I made an order that day, like while we were there.
Figures. Always wants to be ahead.
Yeah, we rented a house here just north of Lowell on Lincoln Lake, and we invited y'all out, and because it was a friend of ours owned that house, and so we were renting it on the lake for the week. Yeah, that was a fun time, and we started it in October of 12, and it seems like it never slows down. Like we have all these projects that we came out with different rubs and seasonings and brines and injections, and like you have to keep moving forward, to have your business be successful, and you can't be scared to try anything. I was just having this conversation this week. You can't be scared to change, but you have to recognize when that change didn't work and go back. So like prime example is a couple of years ago, I went through this phase of like, I wanted all hot sauces. So I wanted all these hot sauces on our site. So I started buying up like tons of them, putting them on the site, just tons of them. And I'm like, man, this shit ain't selling. I mean, some of them did. And like Grinders, which we still got, that's like one of my favorite hot sauces. He has what's it called? I don't even know what it's called anymore. It's like a wimpy. He has a wimpy sauce, which is a hot sauce. It's not very hot, but it's got awesome flavor. Like it's got just incredible flavor. But then he's got, a near death, and then he's got a death. So like they're all good. And, he's got he's got a hell of a following. So Stretch has a lot of following out there. So people order it quite a bit. And then we have Malcolm's, we have Malcolm's is a really good hot sauce, and he's got a really good following. So those sell. But like, man, we had probably 15, 20 brands, and they were good. But it's just like, I think there was one called Yellowbird that was really good. I mean, there was a bunch that were really good. It just didn't sell. But you have to realize, like, we had to realize in a few months. And Mark was like, man, I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, we got to do it. So it was like, oh, I'll admit it. I'm like, we got to try it. And then after a few months, we're like, yeah, well, that shit didn't work. Let's go back.
Yeah. So you developed your own. So the rubs and sauces that you guys do.
Yeah.
The 999 line that you bought from Gray Street. But
well, we bought the name.
The name, yeah.
I mean, the whole idea around that was just we needed a name. We needed a name to put all of our products under. And we bought that 5 years ago?
Yeah.
I mean, so we knew we needed a name to put like our rubs under, because you can't just put it out there as the barbecuesuperstore.com. We needed a name, we needed a brand name, and they were looking to get out, so we got it. We moved all the product that their co-packer was doing out. That was kind of never mind. So we moved it to a new co-packer, one of ours. It's great ingredients. They all taste They're like like the bovine rub. The new one is pretty freaking good.
I use that.
Yeah. That's my
Sure.
go-to brisket now. Yeah.
It is.
But I mean, we did that because we have a lot of retail stores that are selling our product. And if we there's some websites that sell our product that they have in their store, the barbecuesuperstore.com. It's like, man, I feel bad because their customers go there and like, oh, well, I'll just go to the
Just go straight to the source. Yeah.
And I mean, that's not fair to them. So that's why I want 999 for them to be able to put 999 and then buy our products.
So that's been 5 years. So we're about 2.5 years since the start of COVID. So you moved Packers.
Oh yeah.
A couple years later, shit really got weird for you guys, right? I mean, how bad was supply chains? I mean, I know from experience, just because of my issues with sauces and stuff, but and it's not your guys' fault, clearly, but
yeah, sometimes.
kind of.
I mean, in the beginning of COVID, they shut us down for 3 weeks. They told our warehouse, our warehouse said that, their employees aren't, I don't know, required. I mean, they're not, I don't even remember the terms that the governor used.
Not essential.
Yeah, not essential. So
you guys are a grocery store pretty much. I mean,
that's what I told them. I'm like, it's food-based stuff.
Yeah.
We have restaurants that use our stuff. We have food trucks that use our stuff. I mean, we ship product all over the country to restaurants and food trucks. I tell the story all the time. I got an Italian restaurant in New York that buys 8 gallons of sauce and a 25-pound bag of executioner like every other week.
I want to go to that restaurant.
Huh?
So I want to go to that restaurant.
Me too, because I don't even know what he's using it on.
the sauce is the base for his marinara.
What I mean, could be. Who knows? But we got restaurants.
There would be good.
Florida, Georgia, Michigan, North Dakota. I mean, all over the place that are using it, and now we can't give them product. That sucked. But I argued with our warehouse guy for a long time, and he just wouldn't bend, and whatever. It happens. But our co-packers, especially our sauce co-packer, was having issues. And I'm not sure if it's their size or what, or like a lot of these products exploded in the beginning of COVID because people weren't going out to eat. They're eating at home more. So they were buying more products. And as you can see, there's a lot of companies right now that are struggling that they grew too quick during COVID, or they hired, either they knew they were going to have to get rid of these people or they didn't, whatever. But like you see Traeger and Weber and GMG. I mean, there's a bunch of like outdoor grilling companies now that are letting people go because they got too big. People are eating out now, so they're not cooking at home as much. But that's what we struggled with. Our sauce went from a 2-week lead time to now 6-week lead time. So we use a piece of software that watches our website, watches our Amazon sales, and it says like, you sell this many gallons of Judgment Day or this many retail bottles of Judgment Day every day. And if it takes you this long to get it, and it takes this long to order or whatever, it takes all those dates and it says order on this day. Well, if you're not paying attention on that day, sometimes it gets missed for a day or two, when you're at a barbecue comp or something, or they tell you not 6 weeks, now it's going to be 8 weeks because it took 4 days for them to put the order in, there's all kinds of weird things like that. But it's getting better. Product is getting out there. The pricing is still going up through the roof.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen a drastic increase in your pricing? Like, have you guys raised pricing in the last year, 6 months?
Funny, Josh and I have a conversation about this probably once a week about pricing.
Oh, do you?
Stuff like that. Just more.
I am about 50 cents an item over last year.
That's not bad.
It's
That's pretty-
yeah, it should be higher.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, you guys know you're getting ready for the Royal. Prices on meat are starting to drop now. I mean, pork's the lowest I've seen it, I think, since the beginning of the pandemic.
Not my meat.
Well, it's because you buy designer pigs and stuff.
Yeah, you're buying those Gucci pigs.
Commodity pork, I think at GFS right now it's $1.65 or something like that for a
Oh.
case.
Yeah.
Which it's been at $2 or higher since
Really?
21 or 20.
Sam, the big box, the big box retailers, I guess, the Sam's, the Costco's, the wholesale clubs, those ones. I have yet to see them drop under $2 for pork.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
since the
It's
pandemic.
at $3 a pound.
Yeah,
Yeah.
their chicken's expensive. Everything you can. Luckily, we can get prime briskets from Sam's for like $4.18 a pound, which is only probably, I don't know, when I started it was $3.70. So it hasn't really hurt me too bad. It's probably hurt Josh more because he saw $3 a pound. And now it's over $4, or depending on where we get it.
Costco stopped selling primes.
Yeah.
Altogether. Somebody
Altogether, they
else
dropped
said
them.
this, and I didn't. Is it because they can't get it or what?
They said they were having a hard time getting them. And right when they were starting to dropping them, the cases were super small. They were 10 to 12 pound briskets on the big side. I saw a lot of them that looked like they were just flats. The points on them were, maybe a half a pound for a point on those.
Okay.
So they stopped. But their choice briskets are better than most GFS briskets you can get that are choice.
So do you guys use like Performance Food Groups or Cisco or any of those?
Everything I'm getting is pretty much from Costco and GFS right now.
Okay.
Sam's-
Me and Eric, Big E, we've had this discussion because I think it's either Cisco or PFG or one of them delivers to his house.
Cisco.
And they sell Wagyu briskets.
Yeah, he said he's using, he told me he was using Snake River Blacks. I think when I talked to him last week or something like that. But yeah, he's charging $35 a pound for brisket,
Oh yeah.
which
In his area though of Illinois, it's not bad.
yeah. I think I'm 25 or 26 for a pound for what we're doing. So
Well, yeah, people don't understand too that like they don't understand, oh, you paid $5 a pound or $4 a pound. Like they don't understand like how you get to that number.
I had one lady buy 5 pounds yesterday for
Nice.
brisket.
Yeah.
Because we weren't going to be there next week. So she said, I need double. Not triple what you normally get, but okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
But again, I'd rather not sell meat by the pound because I make
Yeah.
more on sandwiches than I do on selling it by the pound. So
Right.
which Skippy doesn't do.
Yeah.
And we've done it now since the beginning, and I can't not now. So I'm locked into it. I can't take it off the menu.
Yeah.
But ribs are down.
You could. Hold on, you could take it off the menu. You could add it as not necessarily a special item, but if the people that you have, instead of advertising it, the people that you have that come up that said, hey, do you still sell by the pound? You say, yes, we can.
Secret
But-
menu.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We have a little bit of that.
Charge them enough where they want to buy it by the sandwich.
Yeah, add another $10 to the pound and see what happens.
Well, it's the people that come up and ask for it without a bun, thinking they're
Yeah.
going to get more.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, you get the same amount everybody else does. I just
Yeah.
container versus a bun.
Yeah,
They're just on keto.
Oh no, hold on. It's the people that get it without the bun, but order like a huge portion of mac and cheese.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Save
But yeah,
it.
overall, meat prices have not been horrible. Ribs are, we're getting close to $10 a rack on ribs at Costco,
Yeah.
give or take. So, which is nice because those were high for a long time. We took them off the menu a couple times.
Wings are down. Wings are down a lot.
That's
At
good.
GFS,
Yeah.
not at
GFS, yeah.
Costco. Costco, they haven't moved at all. Still
Yeah.
$3.90 or whatever a pound, which is ludicrous. But
I mean, people still talk like in the competition area, like, I've talked to KCBS board members and stuff, and they think, oh, meat prices are coming down. I'm like, yeah, for restaurants, but
Yeah.
not Duroc ribs and,
Not what
West
everybody's
Coast
competing with.
and- I mean, the only thing I use commodity pork, Indiana Kitchen, and I love Indiana Kitchen pork, and I use commodity chicken, Miller. I love Miller chicken. So, but my ribs and brisket, there's $400 every kind.
Yeah. Jesus. So yeah, you get your designer breeds or whatever, but because the herds were still small during COVID. We had that whole issue with smaller herds because there was nowhere to send
more people
package.
buying them.
Yeah. Well, and there was no place to send them to get processed.
Right.
Because all those guys got shut down. So you had people just killing off animals and not being processed.
Yep.
So then we had smaller herds the next year because no one knew what to expect with processing.
Yep.
And now I think we're finally starting to get back to normal size herds with not only commodity, but the designer high end. So.
Just in Brainy and I decided we were going to raise a couple of Berkshire hogs, and we decided in the winter of 1920, and I picked them up the second week of March, when everything hit the fan. So we had these two little piglets that we're raising all year, and we're like, oh well, we should probably get a processor date, and everybody's like, yeah, good
How
luck.
big are those hogs now?
Well, I ended up finding, I had to pull strings because, I'm friends with Tim Sobey. So Sobey Meats here in Grand Rapids, that's where I get a lot of my stuff. And so Tim, thankfully, got a processor to kill them off and then send them to him. And then he processed them for me. Because if he wouldn't have done that for me, I'd probably still have them outside and eating nonstop. But
they'd have been really fat pigs.
Yeah, they were big. That was the first time we ever raised pigs. We're gonna raise probably two more in the spring. We're gonna get a couple more, and I don't know what breed I'm gonna get yet. But we were, that was interesting. But it's good that the prices are going down for you guys, but I don't see any. Wagyu is actually going up. The Australian A9s that I cook, I think they went up to $13.59 a pound or $13.99 a pound. And during the summer, I always struggle to get briskets because in Australia, they're, I don't know what the deal is, but every summer, right in the middle of summer, I always have issues. Well, this year I reached out to Mr. Brisket and got a couple of his Imperials, which is a lower marbling score. But even them are $10 a pound.
People wonder why I don't compete anymore.
Oh, it's stupid expensive. I was just talking about this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
And you almost have to spend that kind of money. Really just to be in the ballpark,
but in Imperial, that was I think I got second or third with an Imperial, and it was like a 177, 178 score. It was good.
Yeah.
For a $10 a pound brisket, which is dirt cheap nowadays. And I'm only, Skippy's seen it. I only trim a little. I'm only cooking like 4 pounds flat. 5 pound flat. I get 6 slices taste one, and I might have one extra, 2 extra. That's
you give to Mark and you give to Tommy.
And then we're eating, then the family's eating Wagyu burgers and Wagyu tacos, and my kids won't even eat it anymore.
Me rolling in with my total meat budget of $150.
Yeah, something's gotta be done, but we could have a whole conversation on competition barbecue.
Yeah.
So back to the superstore, we kind of got off topic. So we got it,
we do.
What?
So that's kind of what we do here, Rich.
Yeah, I know. So we got it from Mike. We opened it in 2012. We moved from Mark's basement to he moved to a new house. He had a third stall garage. We kicked his car out and filled up this third stall garage. And then we moved to my buddy Matt's. We rented a part of his shop, graphics house printing. We were there for a couple of years with our own employees fulfilling orders, and we loved the location, hated employees at the time. And I mean, some were good. I'm not going to say they're all bad. We had some bad, some good, but employees are a lot of work when you have other jobs. And we moved there to our fulfillment house about 3 years ago. We may or may not be interviewing other places to move so that we can, grow a little bit more. So
Closer to Hudsonville.
yeah, well, I tell you what, you buy it and I'll move it to Hudsonville. I'll move wherever you want to buy it. But that's where we're at now.
Are you looking at having your own warehouse, or are you still using a fulfillment warehouse?
We're going to continue to use a fulfillment. We're too big. I mean, for our small little thing of just two people, I think we're at like 750 or 800 SKUs. When we started, I think when we got it from Mike, it was 20 or 30 SKUs. So it's gotten big.
What's the end goal? Is there an end?
No. There's an end if you want to buy it.
No.
Everything is for sale, in my opinion. Everything.
Everything for the right price.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm not everything.
So at what point in time do you and Mark replace yourselves
Oh,
and just collect the checks?
something would have to get crazy big first. Everybody keeps asking me when I'm going to leave my day job. And I'm like, I'm never planning on. I mean,
There's you're not putting in a ton of hours on the superstore stuff, right?
no.
Yeah.
It's not that many hours. It's not even.
Not like what Mark's doing.
I don't even think with both of us were. I mean, he'll probably tell you different, but
He has.
yeah, I'm sure he tells you he works like 80 hours a week, but I highly doubt it. That's probably between like watching the Packers. He says he's working, and then next
Answered an email.
4 hours later, the game's over, and he clicks a button.
So this is the real reason that stuff's out of stock is Mark's not putting in enough hours.
I think he counts his text messages as minutes.
Yeah. You know how he's pretty talkative. He's pretty social. So
you don't see yourself stepping away from a role there, you and Mark, at all.
Superstore? Yeah, no. I mean, we have somebody that handles social media now. We have for years.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon's still around, but we have Jeff Shearer from Tire Smoke. He handles a lot of our social media posts and MailChimp, and we get bigger, you'd probably add maybe somebody else to do more social media stuff, but other than that, I highly doubt it. It'd be nice to, our goal is just to grow the 999 brand, really. I mean, I'd rather just do that.
I like the OG stuff personally.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people there. They like the OG stuff. They like the newer stuff. I mean, it's all over the place.
That was right before you got on. Skippy and I were talking about it because Executioner was out of stock there for a little bit, and I was out, so I had to go to Pork Perfection, which is fine. It's a good rub, but man, it threw me all off. I mean,
It's
just
totally different though.
the granular size is different. The color was different. Like everything felt wrong. The flavor's just off just a little bit. I was like, gosh, and it's fine. It's a good rub, but
it doesn't have enough pop.
Yeah.
That's
it. Everything was just a little bit muted.
Yeah, a lot of people love it, based on that OG 999, and it's good. It provides a really good color. Like I always tell people, like, if you're having issues with your color, like substitute out something for that 999 Pork Perfection. It doesn't have a huge, bold, powerful flavors, but man, color is great. But I always say that too, like if you want like for pork and stuff, I use Justice for All, because it has such that huge, that's why we designed it with those huge chunks of salt and sugar, and because they melt slower, and the color is just fantastic. But
It's interesting to hear that part of why the granulars are bigger on that rub.
oh, that was by that was by design for me.
Well, I figured it was because it was the only one that was that large.
Yeah. Everything, all of those rubs are exactly, other than the 999 OG ones that we've kept around, the other ones we designed, and like the bovine injection and pork injection and stuff, those are designed exactly how like we like to cook. And that's what we wanted to share them. But
so when's the class then to show us how to use all these rubs the right way?
I had
I've been there.
20. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that was my first ever doing it by myself, and it was fun, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah,
It was a lot of work, but it was fun. It was a good time.
It was definitely a good time. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
How long? So I guess from conception to final product, how long has it taken to get? Well, talk about the executioner. That's one of your main ones. How long did it take to really get to where you wanted it?
Executioner. Man, that was so long ago. That was like one of the first ones. Like I'll tell you, like we've done.
Talk about the Punisher then.
Oh man, the Punisher was easy. It was like one revision, and they nailed it, and it was done. Judge Hot, we did Judge Hot, and I don't know why. Judge is like a staple. It's in every barbecue trailer I own. It's in my kitchen next to my stove. Like it's everywhere. So we wanted to come out with a Judge Hot because sometimes I just want, some heat in it. And like, I don't know why, like the Judge Hot doesn't sell as fast as the Judge, but like the Judge Hot, I don't even think it was one revision. They just nailed it, when they did it. So it all depends. Like the 999 glazes, we just moved them to a new co-packer, with better ingredients and stuff. And anytime you move to a different co-packer, you go through, they use different, Worcestershire sauce, or they use different ketchups and different, I know I can't talk right now. They use different.
Coming off of Worcestershire, it's hard to go into another word.
Put that in a blooper. So those things always change. And, but sometimes, it just works, and sometimes it don't. I think, man, I can't remember which rub, but it damn near took us 11 months. We had one that was just painful. I almost said, let's just throw it away and start over somewhere else, but it was painful. It took forever. I don't remember which one exactly off the top of my head, but.
So when you're shopping for new packers, do you just like send them what you have now and then like see how close they can get on the first shot and see if there's any shot of hope there?
Well, I've been interviewing co-packers for years. So like I ask them certain questions when we start off about like lead times, because, we're not that big of a business. So we got to look at like some co-packers, like where a lot of our rubs and injections are right now, they have 1,000-pound minimum. That's a lot if you don't have a good outlet of getting rid of that product. Funny story though, like real quick, is executioner. I took Brandy up to Petoskey for a long weekend. We're hitting the wineries and stuff, and my phone's going crazy. And I don't know, we were drinking wine at some winery, and then next thing you know, Mark's texting me. Well, first my camera on my doorbell is going off, and there's this guy standing there, and then Mark's texting me. He's like, I'm calling him. I didn't even know what was going on. But anyways, I called Mark and he was like, there was a freaking semi on your dirt. I mean, because I live on a private road of 4 houses. A semi won't even fit on my road. So he had to back down the main road, down my road. He was trying to drop off 3,000 pounds of executioner at my house. And he was just going to drop it, like, and thank God my big barbecue trailer was blocking like most of my driveway to my garage, because this dude probably would have just put it on the pad of my garage. And Mark's like, I stopped him and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, them dinglings sent 3 or 4 pallets of executioner to your house versus our warehouse. And I'm like, oh my God. But that's just, that's how much product you got to be able to move through, in some of these co-packers. Well, some of our products aren't as popular as, say, executioner. It's hard to move 1,000 pounds of some stuff. So like our glazes, like those 999 glazes, I was looking for a co-packer for the last couple of years for that stuff. And one guy, he's like, yeah, I'll do 1,500 gallons. And I'm like, good God. That stuff would be stuck in our ears forever. And then like another guy was like, well, I'll do 500 gallons. And I'm like, still don't want to do that much. And then, I think we found one that'll do like 150 gallons for the glazes, which is fine. But,
do those cost more because it's a lower quantity?
Usually, yeah, you're usually getting a smaller company. You're usually got to deal with more, smaller company type things, more lead time, more stuff like that. And it's a little bit more money. Like the guy in Colorado that wanted to do like 1,000 gallons or something, or what do you say? Maybe not 1,000 gallons, but it was like 3,500 bottles. And it was going to be cheaper because he could run just more at a time. But like Judgment Day, when we first started, we're the place we're at now, 150 gallons. We're like, man, that's a lot of sauce. But now it's like, man, we never buy just 150 gallons. Now it's like we always buy, 300 or 450 or something.
Yeah.
So it's you just got to keep. It's just being persistent. Like there's co-packers all over Michigan. I've interviewed a lot of them. They've just never fit. I've interviewed them all over the country. The biggest thing is that I've found right now is distance. Like I know people in Florida that are great people that wanted to run our product, but shipping from Florida to Michigan is super expensive. Our co-packer now for the sauce is in North Carolina. It's not cheap. I was yelling at them because they shipped a pallet to us just recently, and I paid more in shipping for that pallet of sauce for 4 pallets of sauce that I sell on the website from Kansas. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, what the heck? So
Crazy.
That's my part of the business I deal with. Mark handles like customer service and employee people complaining and yelling at the warehouse, and I yell at the vendors because it's all about you can't let somebody take advantage of you on one side or the other. If we're paying too much in shipping or paying too much for a product, then it cuts into anything you make on the other end. So we're not doing this for free.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
You guys don't.
bottom line.
Yeah, you guys don't fluctuate your prices. I mean,
No, we usually eat a lot of the problems.
Yeah.